Rev up your engines!
Ford, GM, and Toyota all make $1 million donations to Trump's inauguration. They're all lining up behind him now that he won. Of course, they want to influence possible EV policies and manufacturing rules. So where are they going to make them? Are they going to have an import tariff? What's going to happen? Now, $1 million, it doesn't go as far as it used to. Maybe they'll buy a few cases of champagne in this case for inauguration. On Monday, Ford, GM, and Toyota pledged $1 million. No mention of if the Chinese have given any money yet. And old Elon already gave him a whole bunch of money, so he's got his influence. Now realize one thing, this is probably why the American manufacturers are giving him money. Over 33% of the vehicles sold in the United States for under $30,000 are manufactured in Mexico. Now, the American car manufacturers, right? Well, we're American. No, we don't tariff these things. Those are our factories. But they're in Mexico. And of course, they don't want to get tariffs on that. They went down there so they could make the cars cheaper. If there was a tariff, they wouldn't be made any cheaper. Maybe the jobs come back to the United States, eh? Maybe not a bad idea to tariff them. But they're not going to like that because they spend billions making plants in Mexico because they can build them cheaper there. This will be real interesting next 4 years, that's for sure. Even Sam Altman, who's the OpenAI CEO, he's given $1 million, and here's what he says. President Trump will lead our country into the age of AI, and I'm eager to support his efforts. Fascinating because in the past he's been giving money to Democrats, but now I guess jumping on a Trump bandwagon. Just like the car manufacturers. Well, we'll see what happens in the next 4 years. It's going to be pretty interesting. Well, I just read an interesting article called, Why Isn't Hyundai Motor Group Circling the Drain? Going down the drain, right? Well, I kind of disagree. I think they've been circling the drain for a long time. Hyundai and Kia. Hyundai owns a bunch of Kia. They're basically almost the same company, right? They've been making crappy cars for a long time. As far as I'm concerned, they still make crappy cars. The article was talking about hybrid and EV cars. Now, the problem with these articles, you always have to see who's writing the articles. It was a pro-EV guy, because here's what he says. Hyundai sales of their EVs, they sold twice as many EVs as they sold last year, la, 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 la. Well, let's get the figures out. It's not that many. So far this year, Kia sold 20,600 electric-based models in the EV6 and the EV9. That was up to the end of November. So that's almost the whole year. That's only about $1,800 a month. That's a spit in the bucket, people. You gotta watch it when you read these articles about electric vehicles that are written by electric vehicle fanboys. That's $1,800 a month. For example, in the United States, they sold about 1.45 million vehicles in the United States, right? Ooh, 1,800 of them were electric cars. Don't listen to the nonsense these people throw out. Look at the real figures. It's meaningless. That's not even statistically significant. 1,800 out of 1.45 million? That is such a small amount. But they keep saying, oh, look, they sold twice as many as they did last year. Okay, yeah, last year they hardly sold any. Now they sold a little bit more than hardly any. Maybe it's 50% more than they sold last year, but it's still practically nothing. They keep trying to push this crap down Americans' throats with these figures that will just confuse people. Oh, look, they're selling more. They're still hardly selling any at all. And a lot of times, they're real sneaky. They include hybrid with their full EVs. They say electrified vehicles. Then it makes it look much bigger than it actually is, because hybrid's becoming accepted more. There's no range anxiety. They are more complex to fix and stuff. There's no arguing that. But you don't have range anxiety. You get so much better gas mileage. And they don't cost that much more than a regular car, where fully electric cars do. Well, Tesla's playing hardball trying to sell their stupid Cybertrucks. Now, it looks like Tesla's threatening Cybertruck buyers to either take delivery by the end of December of their Cybertruck, or they will forfeit their $2,500 deposit. People on the internet have said, a deposit down, they made an order, but now something happened, they can't afford it, and they're saying, well, can we wait till later? Well, Tesla's disagreeing with them. They're saying, well, you don't order it and pick it up, guess what? You can't have your $2,500 deposit back. Brock Butcher in California says, I paid $2,500 to configure a Cybertruck. Crazy how Tesla won't at least allow me to use my $2,500 deposit for a future Cybertruck. I can't finalize my purchase because I need more time. Here's what they got back. The Tesla rep said, quote, your order will be canceled with your deposit forfeited. And of course, this is what happens with companies. They got so many people and they're out to make money. The sales guys are out to make money. So they'd rather get the $2,500 deposit than nothing. And so they go, oh, you're going to forfeit your deposit. You'd think, they want to sell the truck. The guy says, well, give me more time. I'll buy one. They should be happy that the guy's even interested in buying this stupid thing now after what happened. But that shows you how hard up they are to get rid of these stupid things. And this is just the beginning. Let's see what 2025 leads into for the Cybertruck beast, because the end of 2024 seems like the wheels are falling off of those things. Now, here's a sneaky one on Tesla. It looks like they are secretly recalling Cybertruck batteries and replacing them. Now, they haven't had an open recall because, of course, that would make it even worse looking at it as already for these ridiculous Cybertrucks with the problems that they have, right? But what seems to be happening is people take their Cybertrucks in for service or repair, right? They're brand new. Why would they need anything? They're electric cars. They don't have oil changes, right? But be that as it may, since September, Tesla's been swapping out Cybertruck batteries for new ones when they're brought in for other maintenance issues. Guy says, anybody know what this means? I bought the Cybertruck in February for the standard recalls and minor issues, and they've had the truck for 2 weeks. So I asked the serviceman, and he says, hi, it looks like there's an additional work item regarding the battery replacement. Says the service guy, Matthew, this is a proactive replacement, as our engineering team has noticed that some cells may have side dents which cause shorting in cell backs developed around your car's production date. So they replaced the battery because they said, gee, we got problems with it, but they're not calling a recall, right? They want to be sneaky and try to get it in without anybody finding out. But of course, these days, everybody goes on the internet and tells everybody what's happening. Another guy says, I dropped off my truck at the service center a few days ago, and they said, there's technically nothing wrong with my batteries, but engineering says they want the battery pack to tear it down and inspect it. Apparently, units produced around the same time as mine have experienced issues. As a result, they're taking my battery pack and replacing it with a new one. They're not recalling them, right? They're trying to nip it in the bud before everybody finds out. If that came out, that they got bad batteries on top of the other crap that these Tesla Cybertrucks have, I find it absolutely hilarious. They finally put them out. They turn out to be rolling piles of garbage. They look filthy in the winter because the stainless steel gets covered with salt and crud, and it just looks horrible. It looks like a dirty garbage can. And now they find out, well, gee, maybe we didn't make the batteries in them right either. Well, if you have evil neighbors that are stealing your gasoline, here's how you can get even, like a guy did in Puerto Rico. Guy has a new neighbor come in, and he was stealing the guy's gasoline, because in Puerto Rico, I guess they don't have very good electrical systems, so he had a big old 5-gallon jerry can full of gasoline to fill his generator, so when the power went out, he could fill it up. Well, he saw the guy, I guess he had a camera, stealing his gasoline. So he goes to the guy, you're stealing my gas. Oh, no, I'm not stealing your gas. The guy says, no. So the guy kept stealing the gas. So this guy decided how he's going to get even. He took all the gas in his jerry can, he put it in his generator. Then he filled the jerry can with diesel fuel. Then the guy stole it, put it in his van, and his van didn't work anymore because you can't run a gasoline car on diesel. It clogged it all up. So he's laughing all the way to the bank. I think that's hilarious. Now, it isn't dangerous. It doesn't cause an explosion. What it causes is a lack of explosions inside the engine because diesel won't burn in a gasoline engine and it won't go anywhere, right? So I think that is a hilarious way getting even to your neighbor who's stealing things from you. He couldn't come to the guy and say, you put diesel in it, you ruined my truck. Well, then he'd be admitting that he stole the guy's stuff. So now there's one way to get even with a gas thief. Well, more bizarre Tesla information. This happened in Romania. A pedestrian tripped and fell in front of a Tesla, which automatically avoided him. But then it crashed into an oncoming car coming the other way. The Tesla driver was found guilty because he was the one who drove into opposing traffic. Should the pedestrian be held accountable for not paying attention to the sidewalk? Or maybe the government, the pedestrian tripped because a few paving stones are missing? What do you think? Guys sent me that from Romania. Absolutely hilarious. Well, as in most cases, the fault lies in various different places. There's usually not one reason versus another. It's a whole slew of things happened, ending up with a guy tripping in front of a Tesla, moving out of the way, then running into another car. That's where the self-driving stuff come to a point of kind of no return, because what does the computer have as a priority? Saving lives, not running into other cars, not going too fast or maybe going fast to avoid an accident. There's so much complexity going on that who could you blame it on? The car avoided the pedestrian, so it did its job then, but then it ran into the car over there. Now, what would happen if there's a pedestrian here when I was going to avoid one, hit the other one? It's become so complex, which is one of the reasons this full self-driving stuff, if it ever comes to fruition, they're going to really have to have better systems than what they have today. And there's so many different possibilities of what can happen and make your head spin. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.